I'm Mrs. Dorset, your beauty consultant with CaribCultura Beauty, and today we are just running through the steps for baking Caribbean Tart. Okay, try and figure this out. Okay, step 1, you need to get all your ingredients. Okay, step 2, you mix your dry ingredients together first, and then you mix your wet ingredients next, and then you introduce the wet to the dry. At least that's how I do it. My grandmother and my aunt, they just throw everything in, and they have them had arms, you know, them arms that, you know, you could roll and mix the dough together. Yeah, that ain't got to me. So what I do is I put them together in the bowl, and then I put them in my mixer and let my mixer do all the hard work. Okay, so yeah, I cheat, but I don't have the you know, the flick of the wrist. Then with tart dough, it's very, very finicky. So you have to mix your ingredients properly, because if the gluten gets too far out of control, it will shrink your dough. You'll have so many problems, issues with your dough. There are ways to fix it. You can either add liquid, not too much, because usually when you add liquid, everything goes all downhill. Or you could add flour. If you add flour, you can't add too much either, because it could get very stiff and hard. So it's like a balancing game that you have to do. If you think that your dough is too watery, I would let it rest for about an hour, hour and a half. You could probably either let it rest in a bowl on the counter, covered in like when some cloth or some paper towel, or you can put it in the fridge, saran wrap it, let it expand, do what it needs to do, and then try it again, because sometimes the water evaporates out of it. So it's better than we try to manually manipulate it and it just goes all the way downhill. But once you got your dough, you have to make sure not to knead it. So many people told me, make sure your wrist don't end up in that dough. Tart dough is different. You have to use your fingers and you have to fold it. Use your fingers in tart dough. That's what they say. Once you have your dough, then you get your rolling pin, and then you roll it out, roll it out, roll it out. what I have learned from 2020, it's pretty much, it is okay to do different things, okay? Sometimes we get so consumed with our box and that we kind of box ourselves in, but it's good to branch off and do things, learn new skills, put yourself out there. Baking is something that I was never really into. When it came to cultural treats, that was personal or intimate, something that I only shared with my family, my immediate family, my kids, and my husband. Never in a million years did I think that my personal, intimate practices I would share with everybody else. Okay, now I am not a baker when it comes to you know, your traditional cookies and brownies and pound cakes and things like that. But when it comes to, because you know, I just was never around it. But when it comes to cultural treats, oh, all day, every day. I mean, when we're talking about tarts, dumb bread, Johnny cake, dulce de coco, sugar cake, peppermint, stew cherry, stew tamon, tamon ball. I mean, cultural treats, pate, that's like second nature. That's something that you do in your house culturally, that you know, that your family benefits from. And even though because both my grandmothers used to bake tart as well and sell tart, it was just like second nature. So I don't even really consider that like baking. I just consider that like normal, you know? And so in 2020, it was like, yes, I might not be like a culinary baker as far as, you know what I'm trying to say. This is just like home comfort food, things that I do on a regular basis. And you know, it was just like deciding to share it with the world, and it turned out to be an amazing experience. I got a lot of support from my family, my friends, people I don't even know, anybody who just liked, shared, comment, or even purchased my tart. I really appreciate you, because like I said, had you told me a year ago that I would be baking tart like for people other than my immediate family, I would have been like, nah, you like. And so that's, to me, that is kind of crazy. I was able to see what, you know, not to box myself in, and just see, just in general, what I could even be capable of. But yeah, so everybody have, like, the basic ingredients are, you know, you have to have your dough, and then obviously your filling, and then you season the dough based on your preferences. And this year, not only was I able to do my grandmother's traditional recipe, but I was able to create a gluten-free option and a vegan option as well that are just as good. And that was difficult because I'm not vegan, but my father is vegan. But my daughter, she's not on gluten, so I had to create a gluten-free option. But then when I created a gluten-free option, I was like, well, might as well try a vegan option, because the gluten-free, I had to cut out a lot of things as well. So but just getting the consistency right, because remember, with vegan, I couldn't use milk, I couldn't use egg, I couldn't use butter. You know, I had to use substitutes, and I had to come up with it was trial and error, because you got to remember, you have to form the dough, and if the dough is not consistent, and I still decorate the tarts as well.
So to provide additional context, in addition to the traditional dough that was featured in today's video, I also offer a gluten-free option and a vegan option on my website for Caribbean Tart. Also, I want to make sure that it is clear that for all three options, yes, there are substitutes made, but traditionally the consistency is generally the same. Physically, they generally look the same, although like the vegan and gluten-free options may appear a lot lighter, as they don't tend to brown as much as your traditional dough.
Of course, it's not going to be 100%, because you know, what makes baked goods are things like egg, milk, sugar, etc. But you know, it was good to try to accommodate some of those niches that are often overlooked. And I think that that's one of the main things that I really felt that it was needed, because we have a lot of people that are health conscious, and but at the same time you still want to enjoy those cultural foods and those things that kind of bring that nostalgia. And especially being in a pandemic, we were like heightened anxiety, stress, and having those comfort foods and still maintaining your normal diet. I think I felt an obligation to do, okay, because I could have do the traditional recipe up, down, and around, but I thought, you know, let me challenge myself to come up with a vegan friendly and a gluten friendly option for those people who struggling, you know. Thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to give like a quick recap. As usual, I'm Mrs. Dorset, your beauty consultant. I'm still your beauty consultant because we are still celebrating the beauty of Caribbean culture. And the beauty of Caribbean culture sometimes has to do with our treats. And so thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And let's see what else 2021 has in store. One thing I do know is that above all, put God first. That's first and foremost, regardless of what, because he has never failed me yet. Okay, whether you feel that God is a he, a she, whatever, God has never failed me yet. Oftentimes I don't even know what I have done. Like, what have I done to be worthy of the blessings that he has shown me? What have I done so that he could trust me to impact people, you know, another day and another day and another day, and to be able to be a blessing to other people? Or sometimes I don't even feel like I do, because, you know, being here, and I'm going off on a tangent, but being here in the United States, away from my hometown, away from my family and friends, I'm not a very social person. So I'm not the type of person that just get out there. The majority of my interactions are either with my friends online or at work. So sometimes, like, I look at my friends and family and they are so active, they serve, you know, they do a lot of these things, and I spend the majority of my time at home. So it's like, and I don't really like to put myself out there because I'm not very social. I'm an introvert, you know, long story short. And, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, or how can I feel as though I am serving God, or how can I do more, you know? But every day, to me, what is the little that I do, he continues to bless me and bless me abundantly. So I must be doing something right, you know? But yeah, these are just things I'll be thinking of. So I said all of that to say life is amazing. And the fact that we are here, that we can enter a new year. A lot of people didn't make it, you know? I was just reading my friend's post, and she said that this is the 3rd day of the month and we already had 2 homicides. Like, life is so precious, and a lot of people be taking it for granted. And I know one thing I do know is that no matter what problem you're going through, no matter what issues that you are faced with, it's only temporary. There's always joy on the other side. Okay? And it's like, weeping may endure for a night, joy coming in the morning. Yes, to everything there is a season. So if you're happy now, it's for a season. There's gonna come a time when you're sad. If you are sad, it's for a season. If you are angry, it's for a season. So every situation, like if you are embarrassed, it is for a season. So you might think that there's nothing that can top this particular situation that's going on right now, that I could never be forgiven, that I could never get past this. But I'm here to tell you that it's just for a season. So I think that in everything, we have to appreciate the moment, the blessing, and the lesson, because everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. And the older that I get, the more I think about the time span. I mean, sometimes when you're younger, you think like you have all this time. But the older you get, you realize that time is going so fast. And it almost feels like it's closing in on you. Like you don't have, like you actually could see. So then you start realizing that, hey, you know, a lot of things don't make sense. A lot of the petty stuff and the arguing and the quarreling and the, like, that's wasting time, wasting energy, when you could be fulfilling your purpose, you know, when you could be blessing other people, when you could be enjoying your blessings, you know. But anyway, I got off on a tangent again. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mrs. Dorset, your beauty consultant with CaribCultura Beauty, and we will catch up in the next video.